Music and Booze with Mo is produced and distributed by EatsDrinksTV, a service of the Center for Culinary Culture, home of the Cocktail Collection, and First Reel Entertainment, and is available wherever fine podcasts can be heard. The Center for Culinary Culture, telling the story of food and drink, one taste at a time. Welcome to Music and Booze with Mo. I'm Mo Herms, and I've worked in the music industry most of my life, so have met some pretty amazing musicians over the years. I also love a good cocktail, and I've encountered some really interesting bartenders as well. It seems that there's a lot of crossover, so when I can, I like to talk to musicians and bartenders about music and booze. Join us at the bar, won't you? Music and Booze with Mo is brought to you by The Mermaid, a cozy neighborhood bar with an aquatic flair in the Little Tokyo area of downtown LA. Open 7 days a week, featuring tropical cocktails and snacks, The Mermaid also has a daily happy hour from 5 to 8 p.m. Follow The Mermaid on Instagram at TheMermaidLA to hear about upcoming events and check them out at themermaidla.com. Head to 428 East 2nd Street, Los Angeles, for a drink. Welcome to Mo's Tropical Summer. As any regular listener knows, every summer I get to talk with people from all over the world, actually, who work or own bars with a bit of a tropical bent to them, and this summer is no exception. So sit back and relax, mix yourself a drink that has lots of fruit juices, rums, and maybe even an umbrella, and enjoy tropical summer. Well, I got to go to Maui via Zoom to talk to Suzanne Navarro, one of the co-owners of Esther's Fair Prospect and The Parlay. So, of course, I want to talk to someone who owns a bar in Hawaii. This is in Wailuku in Maui. And it was really great to talk to Suzanne about this. Also, you know, I have a soft spot for women who own bars. Being one of them, I don't come across them as often as I would like. And we're going to talk with Suzanne about how she fell in love with tiki and fell in love with rum and how she wound up being a partner in a bar in Maui. So pull yourself a little shot of rum and have a listen.
My name is Suzanne Navarro, and I work at Esther's Fair Prospect in Maui, and I also work at a bar called The Parlay.
What's it called?
The Parlay.
The Parlay. Oh, okay. And so when did you get into bartending?
I was a pastry chef for a really long time and I needed money. So I started bartending on the side, and that was probably about, let's see, what year? It was probably about almost 15 years ago now.
Oh, wow. And what kind of place were you at where you started bartending? Was it like big box kind of thing? Or?
Little dive bar that actually my business partner Jessica was the bar manager at.
Oh, cool.
It was on Chestnut Street in San Francisco. It was like a little kind of divey wine bar. And then after that, I moved here and I started working at a place in Lahaina that didn't burn down in the fire.
Oh,
thank
wow.
God.
That's miraculous.
It's called Honu. So that was kind of my second real bartending job.
Mhm.
And then after that, it was a lot of stuff.
Did you continue on with the pastry chefing, or did you just go full bartender at that?
I decided I do pastries at the Parlay, which is great, on the side, but I don't know. It was just so much work for so long. I did it for so long. And it really lent to the bar.
I was going to ask, that has to have helped you with your
Yeah,
creativity
it
behind the bar.
definitely lent to the bar a lot because like you're making a lot of syrups and
Mhm.
weird garnishes and stuff like that. So once I kind of started working at a bar where like everything was made in house, it was a very easy transition, especially when we wanted to open our own bar. I just have like this kind of in-depth skill set, a very in-depth skill set about stuff that probably most bartenders are kind of learning as they're bartending, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So when you were back in the dive bar days, I lived in the Bay Area for like 18 years. So I'm very curious as to which bar this was. I was an
Is
East
it
Bay
bad that I
girl.
can't remember the name?
Yeah. It served its
I
purpose,
can't remember the name. I'm so sorry.
I
I've been
know.
through a lot.
I love,
I've done a lot since then.
Well, okay.
It
So
was
you
on
were,
Chestnut Street. I mean, it wasn't there for very long.
yeah.
Um,
Well, what were some of
I
your
just,
lessons from your early days in bartending, when you first got started there?
let's see. Don't close the bar because you want to go home early and go to sleep. That's probably one of the biggest ones I learned. That was a bad day. Let's think. That was probably a really big one for me, I would say.
Yeah, but
I
dealing
didn't,
with
I don't
dive
think I
bar
really,
customers, I mean, that's a very specific kind of
I mean,
clientele.
but it was the marina. Come on. It wasn't like,
Oh, it was in the
when
marina,
I say
so
dive, I'm not talking about like the Gold Cane or like, the nightcap or like, you lived in San Francisco, so you might know these bars. I'm talking about like not like the bus stop or anything in the
yeah.
marina or like Mauna Loa. This was like a guy, I hope he doesn't hear,
It's
who
gone. They won't hear.
wanted to
Don't
open
worry.
a bar. Who wanted to open a bar and then opened a bar, and my friend was the manager, so she was like, you can work here. But it was like this kind of weird thing where like it wasn't nice but it wasn't shitty.
Yeah,
You know what I
makes
mean?
sense. Yeah, totally.
It
So
should have just been shitty. I don't know.
give it more personality. Well, where did you go after
That in
that?
between.
Like when did you start getting fancier with your cocktails?
I got a job at Sweet Liberty.
Oh, wait,
Luckily,
Sweet Liberty in Florida?
in Miami.
Oh,
So I
wow.
was living in Maui. I moved back home to Miami. I'm from Miami.
Mhm.
And I was working at another place that should have been a dive bar, but was trying to be fancy. And I sent my resume to Sweet Liberty because I'd gone in there for drinks, and they hired me, which was crazy.
That's such a
I think
great
mostly
place.
because, I think mostly because of my culinary background. I also had been working in restaurants forever. I'd worked, I was a waitress forever since I was like 15.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like I was that clueless. But that was my first kind of real bar I worked at, and it was definitely shocking.
Mhm.
And it sucked. It was like going through like what I went through in culinary training all over again, but for a bar.
So you're saying, ugh, it sucked, but obviously you learned, and I'm guessing you stuck
Oh,
around.
I mean, it sucked because it was hard.
Yeah, totally.
But it was amazing because it was like, I mean, that bar is amazing.
That bar is
Like
amazing.
I
Yeah.
worked there for about a year until I pretty much got asked to quit. I learned so much. It enabled me to get my next job. It enabled me to open Esther's. It just pushed me to like start literally like all of like the dedication that I'd put into pastry over like 10 years. I kind of just started putting into bartending, but like as quickly as possible. I was like obsessed, and I just kind of self-taught myself.
So when did you decide, you know what, working bars is great and all, but I really need to just own one. I really need to be in
I
charge.
always wanted to own a bakery, and I realized when I became a bartender, like, and I was like, why would I own a bakery when I can own a bar? I don't have to wake up early. I will make way more money. So I was kind of on this mission. Once I started to work at Sweet Liberty, I was like, I'm going to go back to Maui because I lived at Maui before.
Mhm.
And I'm going to open. I love tiki. I was obsessed with tiki.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to open a tiki bar because there isn't really like a real tiki bar. Like I was
Yeah.
talking like Smuggler's Cove kind of.
Mhm.
That was kind of like my influence at the time.
Yeah,
He
I was
lived in
going to
San
say,
Francisco.
what got you into tiki? I mean, well, you were in Miami,
Smuggler's Cove.
Smuggler's Cove. That was the gateway.
Yeah. A gentleman that I had, he passed away, but he was the bartender where I
Steve.
was a pastry chef. And I kind of stayed in touch with him. He ended up working at Smuggler's Cove, Stephen.
I know
I
him.
would
I
just go
knew him.
see him, and I loved it. I was always obsessed with tiki. I was like, as a kid, I was really like into like the tiki hut at Disney World and
Yep.
Swiss Family Robinson, and like I really like loved that idea. Island of the Blue Lagoon. I wanted that kind of lifestyle. I went to Smuggler's Cove and I was like, this is what's up.
That's
It's
amazing.
funny
So,
because I used to go there. It was a dive bar called the Jade Bar. I don't know if
yep.
you remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we used to go there after work. And then I went there one day and it was closed. And then I went back and I walked in and I was like, oh my God, like this is an amazing program.
So that kicked it off for you. I'm guessing that then you probably had to start exploring besides, because I grew up in Southern California, so I had the Enchanted Tiki Room, right? You know, as a little girl, I remember going and
For
seeing that.
sure.
And I grew up in a surf town, so it was, you know, in North San Diego County. So I always felt like tiki was always kind of around for me. I didn't realize that there was this whole thing attached to it, you know,
Yeah.
the subculture, the cocktails. And then when I got older, I moved up to Berkeley to go to school, and there was Trader Vic's. And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh, there's tiki drinks. But still, to me at that time, that's where we went and had birthdays. That was like after work parties. You know, it was stuff like that. And in this beautiful setting, which I loved, but was always a little familiar to me. And so I think same, it was like when Smuggler started opening, these other places started opening, you're like, okay, there's this whole Forbidden Island in Alameda, you know, there's this whole thing.
I
So,
love Forbidden Island. I used to go there for my birthday for years.
yep.
I love that place.
Yeah. So I was going to say for you, when Smugglers like kind of kicked open that door for you, what was your exploration into like tiki? Was it cocktail subculture, the whole thing, or?
I think most of it was rum.
Hmm.
I
I
wanted to learn about spirits when I was working at Sweet Liberty, and there were so many spirits back there. Like I
Yeah.
remember people walking in and being like, "Oh, I want an Averna," and I'm like, "What the hell is Averna?" You know? So like I'm in this place where there's like, I mean, there's probably 500 bottles in the back bar, and I'm like, I can't learn all these bottles. I'm from Miami. I'm Cuban. My stepfather's from the Bahamas. I grew up with rum around me all the time. I was like, you know, and the type of cocktails I enjoyed are kind of like sours, you know. I love
Mhm.
spiced sours, punches. So I just started to dive kind of into rum, and that kind of tied with the cocktails. I was
Mhm.
like, if I'm going to be working at this bar, I have to know about something on this back bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started to learn about one thing.
And rum is a massive, crazy category. I mean, it's
It is,
huge.
and it's amazing, and it's
Uh-huh.
made all over the world, and it's like the most interesting spirit to me because of the history, what it did to the world, the way it shaped America. Like it's crazy. It's just nuts. It's I fucking love it. It's so cool, you know. It's like
So, in your trips to Smuggler's Cove, did you? I can't remember what their little club is. They've got if you do the rum tasting, they've got like a plaque on the wall.
no, I never made it into. I don't think I could have afforded at that time to drink that much
Right.
rum. I was more of like a painkiller number 3. You know, that was kind
Mhm.
of my go-to there at the
There's a
time.
swizzle they make there. I think it's the 2070 swizzle, which I haven't been there for a while. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's like whenever I go there, I'm like, this is the drink I love. I mean, I love all kinds of drinks. So I'm like, this is the drink I love. But yeah, I mean, going there is a lesson in rums as well. And not
It's
all tiki
amazing. It's
bars do
amazing.
that. So were you starting to get into the rums when you were at Sweet Liberty still? Is when you're like, okay, I'm
I
going to start doing
was.
this.
It was like weird timing. So
Mm.
I was working there, and then I don't know if you know, but every year they have the Hukilau at the
Yep.
Mai Kai
Which
in
is
Fort
happening this
Lauderdale.
weekend.
So it was during the Mai Kai. a bunch of people were there. I met my friend Scotty, who owns Dirty Dicks
Scotty
in
Shooter.
Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met a bunch of guys who were working at Three Dots in Chicago.
Kevin, Corey.
Yep. And I was kind of like over Miami. Miami's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard place to live and it's a hard place to work, you know, like working at Sweet Liberty for a year, working till like 7:00 in the morning, 5 days a week. Like it was getting to me, you know? So I just ended up kind of scoring a job at Three Dots.
Oh,
and
wow.
then I went to Three Dots, and it was just weird timing. Like when I started working there, we got a new bar manager, Kevin, who still's there. And he kind of put this rum training program into effect. And I just kind of went with it. I studied like crazy there too. That was all rum, you know. It was
they're serious. Kevin is very serious about his rums.
And I just studied and I just learned. Me and one of my coworkers were like the highest scoring on a test. I won a trip to Martinique, but I never went. What trip, you guys? I never went because I was coming to Maui to open Esther's. So I just started. I don't know. I just started learning. It's weird because like I'm not very astute, or you know what I mean. I'm not like
you say that, but obviously you are about certain things. Like you latch on to something
about booze.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm an agave girl, but I also love the rums, so I get it. There's some things I allow myself to let go of, so I can hold on to other things. So you'd been at Three Dots, and you were learning about the rums, and then the Esther's opportunity kind of came. It sounds.
It was more that once you know. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I was always kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I was like, I just could not have a boss anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just sick of it. Little did I know, once you become a boss, it's way worse. But I was just tired of it. I don't know. I never wanted to. I didn't. And also, like, I am kind of someone who doesn't really care. So I was like, I feel like a lot of people. You know, you own a business. Some people don't want to take the risk. They want to like keep the job, work there every day. And I didn't care. I was like, well, if I lose all my money, I lose all my money. You know, I didn't really care. So I was always in contact with my business partner, Jessica. We wrote a business plan. We came out to Maui. It's really funny because, you know, we're like, oh, we're going to open a bar on the beach. Mind you, we look at places, the rent's $40,000 a month.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen. We ended up building Esther's in an old bookstore. My partner in life and business, Max, he's like a crazy Burning Man artist. He was open to building Esther's for like delayed payment that he still hasn't gotten.
It's a good thing he knows where you live, huh?
It all kind of fell into place. It was good timing. I felt like I had learned a lot. I felt like I knew enough to open a small bar that would employ like 5 people.
Nice. So what's the capacity at Esther's?
I think it's about 42.
Wow, that's nice. Small. Yeah, that is small, but that's enough. I mean, if you have a small staff, that keeps you busy, you know? So you decided, okay, I'm going to go to Hawaii, which is like part of the inspiration for these drinks and these bars that I love so much. And I'm going to put one there because they don't really have one.
That was the plan. I had a business partner, so I knew like it wouldn't be that hard. We didn't really have any money. That was the worst.
Yeah, that's always the hard part.
But
ideas are
it took
free.
some time.
So when you came and pitched this, I mean, how did it go over? You got to open it, but were people like
to investors or to
saying I want to open a tiki bar?
Oh, everyone. No one would give me any money. I'm going to say that right now. Luckily, Jessica was able to secure some, and it was great that we brought Max in because I don't know if you've ever been to Burning Man or know about Burning Man, but something's with Burning Man where people just love to like give money to people.
Yep.
And he was able to like get some money when we really needed it, which was amazing because so really they brought the money. I brought my expertise.
Hey, you know what? It's like we were talking about before the call started recording is everyone brings in something, everyone's got an angle and you need that.
I brought in a lot of work. I worked, I grew up with my dad doing carpentry around our house and it ended up with just me and Max kind of Jessica was helping, but me and Max were really there a lot building. I had gone to Burning Man and built projects with people, so I kind of had a rough idea on how to do stuff, and I basically became a carpenter.
Carpenter, business owner, bartender, pastry chef, etc. Yeah. rum connoisseur, shall we say. So you got to open it up, and I'm guessing that you're also the beverage director, since
Jessica is the beverage director at Esther's.
Okay. Oh, all right.
She is, yeah. I took over the kitchen because I had more experience. But I definitely contribute to the menu a lot. But she orders the spirits. We're kind of joint, I would say.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the cocktails. Do you guys have, like, since you love rum and you've made a point of learning about rum, do you guys do rum tastings, or are you just cocktail folk? What's it like in there? I can't wait to visit, of course, but it's been a minute.
It's small. We make everything in-house. We juice everything. We make all our own syrups. We try to kind of do something seasonal, I would say, and a lot of kind of incorporating what I know or Jessica knows, like either making, just making things in-house or just like kind of working and blending spirits. We blend a lot of spirits.
Oh, nice.
We'll have drinks that mix rum and mezcal, a little bit avant-garde, I want to say.
So you got some crafty craft cocktails on the menu.
Crafty craft, like very, very crafty craft.
I mean, it's not as if tiki drinks aren't already pretty crafty, because they have so many ingredients.
And I love them. I mean, we put our shot in almost everything over there,
Yeah. Oh, it's so yummy, though, of course. Ask folks this because this is music and booze, but I'm always curious as to whether or not music has ever played a part in the cocktail making. Like, does it become a name? You have like a band name?
We've definitely named some drinks after songs, I would say. One of my favorite drinks we ever made there was Comfortably Numb.
Yay. Can you remember what was in that?
Of course, is after the Pink Floyd song, which one of our regulars thought of the name for. But yeah, it's basically a cinnamon painkiller with sherry in it.
Ooh, nice.
Amazing drink. But that would be like off the top of my head, kind of like also one of my favorite drinks ever that I made up. One of the good
Congratulations.
Kind of what, but I think mostly in names, you know what I mean? Like you look at a song, you pick a little line from it. I've always wanted to name a song Flight of the Seabird, like a blue drink, but I haven't thought of one yet, from a Grateful Dead song. But yeah, I think that's the most influence, I would say, that music has played on the creation of the cocktails there.
It's pretty standard. Like some people will just be like, all right, we're inspired by Prince this month. What are the songs, and grab some lines and things like that. So you had both Grateful Dead and Pink Floyd, which makes me think, and then Burning Man. I'm all, okay, I'm getting a vibe.
Don't tell anyone about this. Bye.
No, I won't tell the tiki people. They're like, what? It's not Exotica?
If it were up to me, we'd just play Exotica there all day. There's like something about where you like walk into a tiki bar and they're playing Exotica and it like all of a sudden makes you feel like you just smoked opium or something.
Right.
Like, I love that feeling. But yeah, we don't play Exotica there all day. We're in Hawaii, so we try to be like, we call ourselves a tropical cocktail bar. We're not as tiki as some other places because it is tiki here. Everything, you know what I mean? It's part of the culture here. So.
Makes sense. I mean, there are some strict guidelines by the Tiki Files of what a tiki bar should be. And so, you give yourself a little bit of wiggle room when you go with the
Yes,
tropical
for sure.
thing, for
For sure.
sure. So for yourself, you also mentioned your family's Cuban and you lived in Miami. And I'm like, all right, I got to know the music when you were growing up. I mean, did you ever actually play any music or anything?
I didn't start playing guitar. I play guitar now. I didn't start playing until I was 31.
Oh,
And
nice. That's
I
super
know,
impressive.
it's crazy because I listened to an interview about Bill Withers and he didn't start playing music till he was 34.
Wow.
And I was like, he's one of the best,
Singers.
singers, songwriters, musicians that's ever lived. So if
Mm-hmm.
he could do it, I could do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which was amazing because it was when I was living in Chicago and it's like snowing. That was like when I was really able to kind of get into it. But growing up, my mother kind of more listened to rock. My dad listened to a lot of like soul, R&B, hip hop, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Prince on and Black Sabbath on, if that like kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. I was really obsessed with the Doors and La Bamba. I don't know.
I love it. I love it. So as you
I
got
feel like
older,
those two movies came out when I was a kid,
I
and
was
like
gonna
I was like,
say,
oh.
I think, yeah, totally. Like it was a sexual awakening for me for both of those. It's like, ooh, he's cute. Oh, he's cute.
Jim Morrison is still my like. I mean, even though he's dead, he's still my
Yes.
like celebrity, whatever
Celebrity
that
crush.
thing is. People get to have sex with a celebrity.
Yep.
Mine happens to be dead, but that's okay.
It is a wish list after all. It's totally fine.
Yeah. Like, wait, what is it called? It's like, hold on, it's Hall Pass.
Yes.
He's
Oh,
my
totally.
celebrity
I always just
in
say
my
my list.
relationship.
It is hall pass. I always say my list,
That's what it is.
we all have one. It keeps things refreshed. So you had music all around when you were growing up. But so
Sorry, I'm on a Zoom meeting.
did you did you always want to play guitar? And it wasn't until you were in your 30s that you're like, damn it, I'm doing it now. I'm gonna do it.
I feel like I always loved music. I was always like attracted to guys who were in bands, and I was like,
You don't have to
I don't
explain
know.
that to me.
I don't know what it was. I feel like I finally had the time almost is what it was, I had a good job. I was making really good money. I only worked like 40s a week. I was living somewhere that I just had the time, I always loved music. Like I had a fake drum set, I was always trying to like do stuff. I used to freestyle rap. Like I was always really
Awesome.
into music. But I don't know. And not that I'm a good guitar player, I still am learning.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it was just the time. It was really cold in Chicago. You're at this point where you're like, okay, I can't, I've watched, every episode of Futurama and it's snowing. I don't want to go out. It was the perfect opportunity to pick up a hobby,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And guitar was
And
it.
then before we opened Nesters, COVID hit. And so I was kind of given like another chance to just stay at home and just work on something.
And play guitar. So when did Esther's open?
Esther's opened in August 2020.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
right.
So
Like if the pandemic was in, January, I guess, let's say. So
yeah, really more or
8
less.
months in, we opened.
Wow. And so
And we were really lucky because we had an outside patio.
I was just about to ask, I'm like, how did you pull that
And
off
that's
when
what it
things were
was. We
still
were able to open.
Wow.
We were able to open because of that,
That's amazing.
And everybody, it was crazy. It was amazing here during COVID.
I bet.
I'm
You
not
didn't
from
have
here,
tourists and stuff. It was just all the
but
locals.
I imagine
right?
this is probably what it was like for people who grew up here, in the 80s and 70s. There was no one here. And it was just, we opened, no one else was really open. And we developed like a really nice local following at that time. Like everyone knew that me and Jessica were opening it. Her and I had both been working in bars and restaurants on the island. So everyone was kind of awaiting the opening. And everyone wanted to go out and drink and they couldn't.
Yeah.
All the hotels were closed. A lot of bars here at that, there's like more independent bars opening on the island. But at the time it was really like, kind of like touristy bars or hotels, and most of them just were not open,
Yeah.
The good dive bars were able to open, but you can only have like 20 people in there at a time or something. You had to wear masks. So we were really lucky. We had a patio and people kind of wanted that experience. Everyone was sitting around on unemployment, and they could come and have a drink.
And yeah, and kind of be around people safely, you
It
know?
was amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, we opened in September of 2018. So, we'd already been open for about a year, but things shifted so much. Same thing, we got to open up an outdoor space. And the clientele that we made during that time, and the real way we got to know our neighbors, because our part of town, there's a couple like kind of high-rise apartment buildings near
Yeah.
us. And we knew we weren't seeing those people. We were seeing kind of business folks that were coming in at happy hour and things like that. But during the pandemic, we were seeing our neighbors, and it was so nice.
Nice.
It was
Yeah.
really nice. I mean, that's what a bar is all about, right? It's about community. It's
All those people still come into Esther's almost every day.
Yeah,
The ones
yeah.
that are coming in at the time. So
right. So you have a great foundation, and it's kind of like if
we
you
do.
don't
We're in a
if you don't
really
have your
small
locals, what do
community.
you have? Being a destination bar doesn't get you any money.
And we're in a really, really like, we're not in necessarily a destination neighborhood on Maui. I don't know if you've ever been here.
I've been to Maui,
We're in
but I
a
don't know if I've
really,
been where you are.
we're in Wailuku town, which is like a really old town, and it was like the first kind of downtown of the island. And it's a very like, people who live here are in this neighborhood. It's not, we do get a lot of tourists, which is great. We get a lot of destination people coming in, but it's really people who live around the neighborhood who are coming to our bars.
That's awesome, because that has to be your bedrock. That's your
I'm sorry, say
stability.
that one more time.
That has
Yeah,
to be
it
your
is.
bedrock. That has to be your
For
stability.
sure. It is.
Is the locals. Oh, that's wonderful. So it sounds like you went over there, you decided you were going to do this, you guys figured out how to do it, and you opened it. Also, I got to throw out there, women owned and operated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Which here in LA, where I am, you don't see that much. And most places.
It's crazy. There's so many women-owned businesses in Wailuku. There's a coffee shop, a
incredible.
tattoo parlor, multiple boutiques. It's a really, I'm on this kind of like a business owner chain thread, like chat, and pretty much everyone's a woman.
That's
it's really,
incredible.
really cool that we have so many female-owned businesses around the neighborhood.
That's amazing. That's very inspiring too that it happened out there, because I'm in a huge city, so when people find out, oh, it's female owned and operated, and we're like, we're out there. Yeah, and it's kind of getting that message out that you can do it too for other women, especially. But I love that in where you are, that it's just a thing, and that's how it should be everywhere. That would be great. Well, congratulations on all that. This is probably a good place to kind of wrap up things, but I would love if you want to give out any of your socials, whatever needs to be followed, websites, etc. So
for sure. You can follow, we have at Esther's Maui. That's our Instagram. You'll see things on there, pictures of cocktails, us bartending, stuff like that. And definitely follow at the Parlay Maui. It's kind of our restaurant sports bar that's down the street. Kind of like a 70s vibe here. I'm looking at the disco ball.
Nice.
And that is at the Parlay Maui on Instagram. And come to Maui, you guys. It's summer,
I know. I really want to get to Maui. I haven't been for a very long time.
Come visit.
So did you need an excuse to go to Maui? Go out there and support the island during their recovery? Recovery from fires takes a long time, so they could use you if you go out there. And you can check out the Parlay Maui. That's their Instagram handle. And Esther's Maui, also their Instagram handle. So you can go have some really fantastic drinks and food while you're out there visiting and see where the locals hang. I can't wait to do it. God, I hope I can do it soon. Thanks, Suzanne, so much for talking with me and sharing your stories about really bouncing around some of the best bars in this country, if not the world, before you settled down in Maui and brought us Esther's. Thanks so much, and there's a little playlist. Go to the Music and Booze with Mo Spotify page for the little playlist. And that's about it. From Maui with love. Thank you for tuning in to our barroom chats on Music and Booze with Mo. For more info about today's guest, or if you want to connect with me, check out my Facebook page, Mo Herms. Please subscribe to the podcast and feel free to tell all your friends about it. While you're there, give the show a rating and a review. It really helps to get the word out. If you want to hear the playlists our guests have curated, search She Be Mo on Spotify, SHEBMO. Find pictures of the interviewees and the cool stuff they create on the Music and Booze with Mo Instagram account. Lower your expectations and join us at the bar. Till next time, cheers.